Hey, welcome to another superb tutorial. Today we are going to edit this portrait image and we will be making it into something like this. So let's get started. So first of all, let's create a duplicate copy of this image by pressing Ctrl J or Command J on your keyboard, and then we will go to the filters and then we'll select the camera raw filter, and it's going to open up in the camera raw. And now it has launched the camera raw filter, and now you can see over here we can adjust all these sliders. So I'll go for the auto, and it's going to fix up most of the problem, and I'll lower down the contrast so that some more details can be seen in the shadow area of the face, etc. Bring down the highlight a little bit, increase the shadows and increase the blacks as well, and increase the clarity a little bit, increase the vibrance and saturation, and come to the details panel and increase the amount of sharpening to something like this, and press Alt or Option and drag it to see the mask to control the sharpening. Increase the luminance to something like this, and it's going to fix most of the skin. And then come to the lens correction, and I think there is nothing to be done over here, and that's it, and press OK. And you can see the difference. This is before and this is after we have just made little bit editing in the camera raw filter. And now we will remove these spots from the skin. So we'll create a new blank layer and we'll select the spot healing brush, and you can have the access by clicking over here, or you can simply press J on your keyboard. That would select the quick heal tool and remove it all these spots, or paint in wherever you want the spot to remove, or wherever you want to remove the spots. Okay, and let me just quickly do this. If we have something on the over here as well, and from here, let me do it. Over here we have something on the dress. Alright, and now I think I'm good to go. Press Ctrl 0, and now we are going to make the skin smoother. So we'll press Ctrl Alt Shift E to create a merge copy of all these layers, and then we'll go to the filter and select blur and choose the surface blur, and we'll choose the radius which we like. Okay, so if I want, I think I will go for something like this because I want to have it a painterly skin, and press OK, and it is going to apply it. Now we are going to apply a black mask over this image. So we'll press Alt or Option and click this mask icon. We'll zoom in, we'll take the soft edge brush with 0 hardness and make sure the opacity is around 40%. So you can press 4 on your keyboard and start painting on the skin wherever you want the skin to be smoother. Okay, and make sure you avoid all these details in the eyes and in the eyebrows, because we don't want them to be smoothened, because we don't want them to be look smooth, we want them to be sharp. Okay, and paint on rest of the skin quickly, and I'm quickly doing it. And if you want, you can increase the size of the brush for the larger areas, or you can lower down the size of the brush for the smaller areas. All right, and that will be having a smooth painterly skin. Okay, and if you want more effect, you can paint twice or thrice on that particular area, but I think this is good, and you can see the difference by turning it on and off, and now we have smooth skin. Okay, and if you leave something, then you can paint in later on as well. Okay, and press Ctrl 0, and now we are going to color grade this image. For that purpose, we'll be using the curves adjustment. So we'll select the curves adjustment, and over here this is the RGB curve, so we'll drag it down and drag the highlights up. so that's going to boost the colors and contrast from the image. And then we'll drop down this, click on this drop down menu and select red, and let's add little bit red in the highlights and take it down from the shadows. Okay, and now let's go for the green, and let's add little bit more green in the shadows and take it away from the highlights. And then select the blue and then add the blue to the highlights, to the shadows, sorry, and take away it from the highlight. Okay, and now we got this kind of result, you can see, by turning it on and off. And let's add one little bit vignette effect to this image. So we'll click here, over here, and select gradient and click on this gradient editor, and we will select the black to transparent gradient. Press OK. Make sure you select the radial style and check this reverse option. Drag the focus on the face and click on the scale and increase the scale to something like this and press OK. And now we'll come over here on the adjustment panel and we'll select the photo filter, and from these drop down menu we'll try different one and let's see which one we like. I think I like this cooling filter, or let's try something else. Green is also looking good, so I think I will go for the green, and we can adjust the density as well, but I won't go that too much. I will select this only. And now let's zoom in and sharpen the eyes little bit. So we'll create a new blank layer and press Control, press Shift and backspace, and from this drop down menu we'll select the 50% gray and press OK, and we'll change this layer blend mode to overlay, and we'll select this dose tool, which we can have the access by clicking over here, or we can simply press O on our keyboard and paint on the eyes highlights. Okay, make sure your exposure is around 10%, and that way you can paint in, and that way we'll be having more details in the eyes. All right, and you have to paint number of times since we are using the lower opacity, and it's always good to work with the lower opacity and build the effect. Okay, and then let's paint a little bit on the face. So wherever you see the highlights, start painting on that area with the dose tool, and that's going to make this image pop. So we'll be having more depth and detail in this image. And if you want to learn all the dosing and burning techniques which pro use or the amateurs use, then you can check out my pro tutorial dose and burn masterclass, and there is a link to that in the description section, or you can visit my website harshvardhanart.com and you can find it over there. All right, and now you can see it, the difference by turning it on and off. And if you want, you can now use the burn tool to burn the highlights and make it little bit more dramatic or more details or depth in the image. Okay, and this way we can even sculpt the face with this technique. Okay, and I think now this is fine. We can see the result by turning it on and off, and if you feel that you have overdone it, you can always lower down the opacity to something like this, and I think I will go for this one. And now let's add one more color grading filter, and that is the adjustment layer, and we'll select the color balance from here, and let's add cyan little bit and try to play with these sliders and see what you like. Okay, and then go for the shadows and try different settings and highlights. Okay, and this is how you can play with all these sliders and you can come out with your own liking. and you can see this is the result we have got after this. And now we'll doing the final sharpening to this image. So we'll press Ctrl Alt Shift E, and then we'll go to the filter, select sharpen and select unsharp mask, and we'll zoom in to see what it does, and we'll select the amount around 70% and we'll press OK. And now we'll create a black mask by pressing Alt or Option, and with the brush tool with soft as brush and white color we are going to paint on the eyes. Okay, we want the eyes to be sharp, text sharp, so we are just painting on the eyes and little bit on the brows and on the lips as well. Okay, and if you want you can paint in on the hairs and these jewelries as well. And I'll just show you the result before and after we have applied this sharpening. So this is the before and after. If you are watching in full HD, then you might be able to notice the difference, and it has made the eyes pop, really pop. Okay, so this is our final result, and we have started with this image and we have turned it into something like this. So thank you so much. I hope you have learned something useful from this tutorial, and if you have learned something useful then please do let me know in the comment section below, and what do you think about today's episode. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next episode.